Okay, hello once again. So, really, before learning how to analyze malware, it's important to understand what exactly it is, why we analyze it, and what are the methods that analysts actually use. So, malware analysis is the study of harmful software in order to understand its behavior so we can limit the scope of its damage and also protect corporate assets that are connected to the networks that, are adjacent to the host that unfortunately got hit with the malware. Now, we use this term malware. So, what is exactly this malicious software? So, malware or malicious software is any software designed to be malicious, to harm a user, computer, or a network. Now, when we say a network might be harmed, ultimately the explanation is a full circle because a network is nothing more than a group or collection of computers that are somehow connected to a certain network, and that in turn harms the people that are connected to the data that is supposed to serve these people. So, in other words, information, as they say, is the main commodity right now. So that's why malware usually is pointing to the stealing of information. Maybe not all at once, but one of the aspects, one of the most harmful aspects of malware is the idea of persistence. The fact that a malware piece, this software can stay and remain on your computer after you have turned it off and turned it back on again. That is the hallmark of a very persistent malware attack when it survives the power outages or you actually turning your computer on and off, like rebooting. That's how you really have pwned a host, that if the user actually physically turns the computer on and off and it's still there. The other thing that malware loves to do is damage your files, like through the WannaCry virus. That happened to me actually once, and trust me, after it happened, I wanted to cry. So whoever named it "Wanna Cry" did a very good job. And then, of course, allowing the hackers to actually take administrative or get admin rights to the host. So they now have, if you have admin rights, you can literally do anything on the computer. So examples of malware include viruses, worms, Trojan horses, rootkits, spyware, and scareware. Now, although malware comes in many forms, analysts use similar techniques to study all of them. So, for example, if you wanted to study whether or not a certain virus was on your host versus a rootkit, you would use similar techniques to study it, even though they seem to be distinct things. Although they can not only are they very similar to each other, they actually work in conjunction with each other. So, for example, you can download a rootkit, and this rootkit can put in like a virus on your computer, and it could, like, for example, keep track of your keystrokes, like a keylogger, as an example. And of course, the technique that you use to study it depends on the analyst's goal, whether it is identifying the damage, whether or not it is the attempting to stop a current attack, or maybe preventing future attacks, or something like that. A lot of times, they're demonstrative, so you can train future users. And a lot of times, the simple act of training your operation or training your staff can help future infestations. For example, a lot of times a malware that wiped out a complete network and cost millions of dollars can be traced to an infected USB drive or somebody downloading the wrong attachment. Okay, so why do we analyze malware? What is the process? The main goal of malware analysis is to respond to cyber attacks and intrusions. So when malware is discovered, analysts need to answer several important questions, such as one, what happened? How the heck did the malware get into the system? Number two, what is the effect of the malware? What exactly is the malware programmed to do? For example, does it steal data? Is it spreading itself like a worm? Or is it pwning a host, allowing a hacker to completely control your hosts? Another question to ask, which systems are infected? So analysts must locate every computer or file affected to prevent reinfection. And then finally, how can we detect it in the future? Analysts often create special signatures, such as a hash or something, that help security tools recognize malware. And why I call it a hash is one way encryption, but a hash is a great way to know whether or not this virus definition or this script is in your system. It's a great way to communicate it to others, to other analysts, I should say.